So today we'll be discussing about vascular disorders. We'll start off with thrombosis specifically, thrombosis and embolism. Now, thrombosis is literally formation of a solid mass in circulation. Now, this mass more often than not is found due to coagulation problems. So it is as a result of clumping of fibrin RBCs, or sometimes if it is a what you call arterial, if it is arterial thrombus, it might be platelets that are getting clogged together. Depending on the where it is occurring, it can be either a arterial thrombus or a venous thrombus. Okay, it's basically a clumping that is occurring, solid mass that is being formed in circulation. All right, and this solid mass itself is formed from constituents of blood. So as I told you, it can either be RBCs that are clumping together, RBCs and fibrin that will clump together, or it can be platelets that are clumping together. So we have thrombosis. This is formation of a solid mass in circulation from the or from blood constituents. Okay, simple enough. Now the mass itself will be called a thrombus. Right. Now, thrombi generally develop in unruptured cardiovascular system. So, unruptured blood vessels, and it can be very dangerous. Thrombi that develop in unruptured cardiovascular system. See, normally, whenever there is injury, at that time, if thrombus is developing, that is fine. That is to block hemorrhage from occurring. So, if I have a blood vessel like this, which is, let's suppose, has injury, or it is torn at one location. So, this is where blood is spilling out, okay, into your tissue space. At that time, if thrombus formation occurs and you have thrombi that are coming into picture and blocking this area, it is fine. That is okay. But if you have thrombi or thrombosis that are being formed uh, in unruptured cardiovascular system, so there is no damage, but this thrombus is being formed, that can be very dangerous. Okay, that will lead to two life-threatening conditions. One is ischemic injury. The second is thromboembolism. Okay, I'll explain what is embolism as well. Now, ischemic injury, basically what happens is if this thrombi is occurring in a blood vessel which is unruptured, or it is occurring in cardiovascular system which is unruptured. So let's suppose this is a normal blood vessel and you have a thrombus being formed like this. Okay. Now this thrombus may decrease or stop the blood supply to any part of the body. So in this case, we have a blood vessel which is wide enough where this thrombus will not get blocked. Now let's suppose from this blood vessel it is going into, यहाँ पर artery है समझो, artery से arteriole में जा रहा है. If it is going into capillary space, or if it is going into smaller blood vessels, at that time that thrombus can block the flow of that what do you call capillary, or it can block the blood flow of that small blood vessel, ultimately causing ischemic injury in the part where that blood vessel was supplying. So for example, let's suppose this blood vessel is going to the liver, and there are small blood vessels that are coming out of this main blood vessel. So arterioles that are coming out from here, and they are supplying to the structures inside your liver, for example liver, your kidney, whatever you take, some organ. Okay, now what happens is if this thrombus, let's suppose it comes here and gets lodged here. So this fellow gets lodged here. It is basically cutting off blood supply to this particular part or this particular region where the blood supply is occurring from that particular arteriole. So what happens is there ischemia will develop, lack of oxygen will develop, and ultimately ischemic injury occurs, leading to infarction. Okay, so ischemia is followed by infarction if blood supply is not reinstated quickly within 3 or 4 minutes, generally maximum around 10 minutes. If ischemia continues, that is lack of oxygen and blood supply, it will lead to infarction. Infarction is followed by necrosis and all of that. That is the first condition it can cause. Second condition that a thrombus can cause is something called thromboembolism. Now, embolus or embolism as such, it occurs when one object, any object, migrates from one part of the body and causes a blockage in a blood vessel in another part of the body. ठीक है. तो in this case our thromboembolism will be a thrombus. Let's suppose this thrombus is being formed somewhere near your lung. ठीक है. For example, this thrombus is being formed somewhere near your lung, and it is in circulation, it is going through your heart, and it is going all the way up to let's suppose some artery, or some yeah, let's suppose some artery that is going towards your GIT, or some artery that is going towards your pancreas. So essentially that thrombus which is formed in the lung, it is ultimately reaching into your pancreas. I'm just giving an example, okay? It can go anywhere because uh, of circulation. So it is going into the pancreas, and in one of the blood vessels there, smaller blood vessels, or even if the thrombus is big enough, it will start blocking a big blood vessel. It will block the blood vessel in pancreas. So that is an embolism. It can be any object. Embolism as such represents one object that is coming in circulation, and that is originating in one place, going to a different place, and causing blockage there in the blood vessel. That is the definition of an embolism. Thromboembolism is embolism caused by a thrombus. Okay? Embolism is simply an object that migrates from one part of the body to another part of the body in a blood vessel, causing a blockage. We will go over the different types of emboli, but that is an embolism. If it is occurring through thrombi, then it will be called thromboembolism. All right. So that is the second life-threatening condition that a thrombus can cause. So thrombus may get dislodged from wherever it is being formed. So most of the times what happens is, as this thrombus is formed, it will get lodged into the walls of one of the blood vessel. That is how it remains stuck. अगर वहां से dislodge होके it is going to another part, that will be a thromboembolism. All right, in any distant blood vessel it is going and getting lodged. Now, thrombi pathologically come in various shapes and sizes. You will have some which are very big, some which are very small. They are mainly divided in two main types. Okay, there is arterial thrombi and venous thrombi. Now, arterial thrombi will be white and they will be mural. Mural ka matlab they will be stuck to the wall of the blood vessel. Okay, so 1 second, I'll just write it down. So we have two different types of thrombi. The first one is arterial thrombi. Then we have venous thrombi. Okay, arterial thrombi will be white and mural generally. ये white इसलिए रहता क्योंकि most of the times thrombosis in arteries develops when a person has atherosclerosis. So this thrombi is literally a clot that is formed, or it is superimposed on atherosclerotic lesions. Atherosclerosis itself involves a lot of fat being deposited in your blood vessels. Okay? Atheromatous plaques occurring and atheromas occurring. That will be white in color. So this clot itself will take the color of that. Okay? It will be whitish in color, and this fellow will be attached to the blood vessel wall. So if you take, let's suppose, as a side se dekh rahe to aap, it will be attached to the wall like this, or if you see a cross section, it will look like this. So it is a white colored mass. I'm drawing it in red because I cannot draw white on white. So ऐसा इसको mural बोलते हैं. Okay, mural is something which is stuck to the wall. So blood vessel wall को stuck रहता है ये artery. Now in this scenario, it is going from, you know, a big section of the blood vessel is getting involved in that thrombi. अगर venous है, venous thrombi, this fellow will generally be red and occlusive. This is red and occlusive. Red and occlusive का मतलब है it will be red in color. This is mainly because it is formed by RBCs. RBC and fibrins, they will collect together. Now venous atheromas occur होना बहुत uncommon है. Okay, atheromas will generally occur in arteries rather than veins. That is why they are not white in color, they are red in color, because यहाँ पर thrombi are made up of mainly RBCs and fibrin that is collecting. Okay, as a result of inflammatory reaction, you will have fibrin, and that fibrin will basically make sure that RBC stick together. That is how thrombus is being formed, venous thrombi. Now this thrombi will be left red and occlusive. Occlusive ka matlab it will block a big portion of that blood vessel. it will cause occlusion. ठीक है? If you can see this part, this is the whole of the thrombus, venous thrombus. Okay, it is causing a proper occlusion. It is blocking the flow of blood there. Now, sometimes you will have a mixed or laminated thrombi. So it will be a mixture of white and red, and you will see different layers. Technically, they are called lines of Zahn. Okay. Now we talked about what is red thrombi and white thrombi. Sometimes you will have mixed thrombi. Okay. मिक्स थ्रोम्बाई भी बोलते हैं उसको, या लैमिनेटेड थ्रोम्बाई भी बोलते हैं. लैमिनेटेड का मतलब लेयर्स रहना. ओके, नाउ it will have those lines, the separation lines where white red concentric layers में रहते हैं, उन लोगों को lines of Zahn बोलते हैं. Okay, now generally speaking, red thrombi are soft, red and gelatinous. Okay, they'll be much more softer and they'll be gelatinous, whereas white thrombi will be firm and pale. This is firm and pale specifically because of atheroma formation. Plaques will be generally hard, sclerosed, and they will also have calcification occurring in them. If it is a complicated thrombus, if it is a complicated atheroma especially, उसमें calcification हो गया. अगर वो thrombus बन रहा, if it is becoming thrombus and it is blocking the flow of blood and it is going here and there, then that will be generally firm to touch. Okay, and obviously pale in color. All right, now coming to embolism. All right, so this is about thrombosis. Now coming to embolism, see, the main reason for thrombosis is hypercoagulability. The patient is what do you call, in a hypercoagulable state where platelets are getting clumped together, or they are easily forming clots. Okay, that is one reason. Or endothelial cell injury might lead to thrombosis, or blood stasis. If flow of blood or blood gets stagnant in one particular organ and one particular blood vessel, वहाँ पर clot formation generally common रहता. Now coming to embolism. Embolism, as I told you, is when an object which is being formed in one part of the body migrates to other part of the body, especially to a blood vessel, and it is causing blockage into the blood vessel. Now the most usual form of emboli are thromboemboli. 90% of most embolisms will be thromboembolisms. Okay, thrombus being formed, and that thrombus going to some other location and causing blockage there. Now, thromboembolism itself can be divided into two different categories. It can be either an arterial thromboembolism or a venous thromboembolism. All right. So we have embolism. Now, embolism is a process in which partial or obstruction of some part of CVS occurs by a mass which has originated in a different location. Okay, so we have a mass which is developing in some location in the body. That mass is going to a completely different location, and there it is causing blockage. That will be an embolism. 90% of embolisms will be what do you call, 90% of emboli will be thromboembolisms. Now, thromboembolism itself, thromboembolism, a thrombus developing into an embolism, this can be divided into two different categories. We have arterial thromboembolism and venous thromboembolism. Okay, what is the difference? Now, specifically, if we talk about the causes itself, arterial thromboembolisms, in most of the cases, the cause for arterial thromboembolism lies in the heart itself. So inside the heart, generally mural thrombi develop. So it can be in the left atrium or left ventricle where blood is getting, generally CHF में हो सकता, where what you call congestion is occurring and blood is staying in the heart for a long period of time, or in any case, most of the time what happens is these thrombi will develop in the heart, and from the heart it will go to some other location as heart is continuously pumping. Once this embolism is formed, now this embolism is a thrombus. So the thrombus is developing inside the heart and it is going to through aorta or through pulmonary vertical artery. This mainly occurs in the left atrium and left ventricle. So the more common type will be thromboembolism that is going through your aorta. So mainly arteries को affect करता and it will enter into systemic circulation. Very rarely it will go into pulmonary circulation. In any case, most of the times it is developing from the heart. Sometimes it can develop in arteries as well. So an emboli that is developing in relation to atherosclerotic plaques. So plaques है फॉर्म हो रहा, या एओटा में एन्यूरिज्म्स है. एन्यूरिज्म इज बेसिकली, आप लोगों को एन्यूरिज्म इससे पहले पढ़ाए थे कभी? Aneurysm is basically a kind of a weakening in the wall of a blood vessel. So अगर मैं aorta का aneurysm बोला, so let's suppose this is a normal aorta, ठीक है? This is aorta. अगर aneurysm हुआ हुआ aorta देखें तो you will see small blips like this. You will have different types of aneurysms, but just draw a simple aneurysm here. ठीक है? This structure that you see, this structure, that is because the wall of the blood vessel is weakening. ठीक है? This weakening can happen because of atheromas, it can happen because of endothelial damage, it can happen because of hypertension, बहुत सारे reasons है. Anyway, aneurysm हो रहा in the blood vessel, ठीक है? And whenever that aneurysm occurs, blood starts pooling in this area. And once blood starts pooling in, there is a chance that a thrombus can be formed. वहां से thromboembolism होता. So once a thrombus is formed, it will enter back into the aorta and it will start flowing around. Aorta is a big blood vessel. ठीक है? As such, it is very rare for thromboembolism to occur only in aorta itself. It will go to some other smaller artery and smaller blood vessel. There it will cause a blockage. It is developing from atherosclerotic plaque or it is developing from aortic aneurysms, या फिर कभी कभी pulmonary veins में develop हो सकता. Pulmonary veins are blood vessels that are carrying oxygenated blood from your lungs to your this thing left atrium, right? Or it can be a aortic emboli which is of unknown cause, paradoxical बोलते हैं उसको, paradoxical arterial emboli, especially in systemic venous circulation. So from systemic venous circulation you might have a arterial emboli that is being formed, and that arterial emboli might lead to thromboembolism. Okay, arterial thromboembolism. Now depending on different site of site of lodgement, literally where it is getting lodged, that thromboembolism, wherever it is getting lodged, and whether or not if that particular organ which has this thromboembolism has any collateral circulation. मतलब अब आप liver का ही ले लो. Liver technically has two different types of circulation. It has this thing, intrahepatic circulation, and it has normal circulation as well. So collateral है, एक तरफ का circulation भी अगर block हुआ तो it has a collateral route. Unlike let's suppose your spleen only has your splenic artery that is going in. ठीक है? अगर collateral blood circulation नहीं है, उसका मतलब क्या है? Let's suppose this is some organ. Okay, I'm just giving you one example. यहाँ पर एक organ है, इधर से एक artery आ रही supplying oxygenated blood, and इधर से एक और artery आ रही supplying oxygenated blood. ठीक है? There are those two sources of oxygenated blood to that particular tissue or that particular organ. Let's suppose if there is a thromboembolism occurring here, it is bad, but it is not that big of a problem because the organ still has another route of circulation. It has another route through which it can get oxygen and fresh blood. But let's suppose this is not present. Let's suppose we have an organ which is only having what you call one source of oxygenated blood and it does not have any collateral circulation. Okay, something that is occurring collaterally, उसको collateral circulation बोलते हैं, circulation that occurs collaterally. And depending on the size of the thrombus, depending on site of lodgement, मतलब बड़े blood vessel में हो रहा, छोटे blood vessel में हो रहा, कितना बड़ा thrombus है, depending on all of that, there will be different results of this thromboembolism. Now specifically अगर let's suppose arterial thromboembolism है, the results of arterial thromboembolism, I'll write them down. So I hope you guys are understanding till here. If you have doubts, please let me know. So what we discussed is thromboembolism और arterial thromboembolism mainly दो जगह से originate होता, या तो heart में originate होता mainly left atrium left ventricle, या फिर artery में develop होता. So that emboli can develop in from atherosclerotic plaque या aortic aneurysm या pulmonary veins, या it can be a paradoxical arterial emboli. ये चार causes से हो सकता. Now depending on कितना साइज का थ्रोम्बस है, डिपेंडिंग ऑन द साइज ऑफ द thromboembolism, डिपेंडिंग ऑन द लोकेशन ऑफ द thromboembolism, specifically the site of lodgement, and depending on adequacy of collateral circulation, whether or not that organ has collateral circulation, there will be some results of arterial thromboembolism. Now those results will be, first of all, infarction of the organ or the affected part because of arterial thromboembolism. There can be gangrene following infarction. Agar infarction is not abated, or if that thromboembolism is not removed either through circulation or by any other means, it will develop into gangrene. That organ will develop gangrene, necrosis than gangrene, or it can cause arteritis. Arteritis, right? Arteritis and mycotic aneurysms. ठीक है, arteritis is literally swelling of your arteries. ठीक है, it will cause inflammatory reaction in the arteries, or it can lead to mycotic aneurysms. Mycotic aneurysms are aneurysms which are caused due to infection. So that arterial thromboembolism is blocking the blood flow in one blood vessel. So let's suppose ये blood vessel है, ठीक है, यहाँ पर thromboembolism हो रहा and it is blocking flow of blood. ठीक है, now technically speaking, in some major arteries you will have, now your blood vessel also are living organisms, okay? They are living cells that are making up your blood vessel, which in turn need blood. Now in big blood vessels you will have something called vasa vasorum. Vasa vasorum are small blood vessels that are supplying blood to the wall of the blood vessel. So to your tunica intima, tunica media, tunica externa, वो पूरा उनको blood supply देने के लिए there will be something called vasa vasorum. That will not be present in smaller blood vessels. Smaller blood vessels will generally take blood from the circulation itself. So ऐसा अगर blood जा रहा तो some of the blood will go here as well. ठीक है, it will reach that blood vessel and it will nourish the cells, the epithelium, the tunics that are present in the blood vessel, especially smaller blood vessels. अगर ऐसा embolism हो रहा, ठीक है, for example a thromboembolism occurs like this, ठीक है, it is basically cutting off circulation in this area. मतलब there is what I call no this thing occurring, क्या बोलते, blood supply is lost there, or even if it is not completely blocking, let's suppose it is like this, ठीक है, there is little amount of blood that is coming in, the total supply of blood to that organ, whichever organ it is supplying blood to, and to the blood vessels, both of them decrease, because of which what happens is यहाँ पर inflammatory reaction होता, because of which, let me use a different color, यहाँ पर inflammatory reaction होता, the black box, ठीक है, that part of the blood vessel. You will also have damage to the organ, but other than that the artery will have what do you call inflammatory reaction and inflammation, which will lead to arteritis, inflammation of the artery. Along with that, यहाँ पर infection develop होने का chance रहता, okay, especially anaerobic infections can develop, and what will happen is as a result of those anaerobic infections or infections in general, especially in this area near the edges of that thromboembolism, there can be development of mycotic aneurysms. Mycotic aneurysms are those aneurysms that are caused due to infection. ठीक है, they will cause weakening in the wall of the blood vessel and they will damage the wall of blood vessel, leading to aneurysms. So that is another effect of arterial thromboembolism. It can cause myocardial infarction, heart attack. अगर coronary arteries में जाके lodge हुआ thromboembolism, it will lead to myocardial infarction. Your heart will not get heart muscles will not get enough amount of oxygen and they will not be able to pump. ठीक है, that is myocardial infarction. Or especially in case of coronary embolisms, severe coronary embolisms. Technically speaking, coronary embolism will also cause coronary. One second. Technically, coronary embolisms will also cause myocardial infarction. But let's suppose most of the coronaries or a major portion of coronaries are undergoing embolism, it will lead to sudden death because your heart is completely not getting oxygen altogether. It will lead to sudden death. Even if it is for a small period of time, your heart will not be able to stabilize itself and circulation completely stops, leading to death of the person. So that is coronary embolism. Myocardial infarction may generally one or two coronaries are getting affected. Coronary embolism may one of the main coronary arteries itself is getting blocked, or several coronary arteries are getting blocked, leading to sudden death. Okay, your heart will stop working altogether. That will lead to sudden death. So that those are the complications, or those are the results of arterial thromboembolism. Now coming to venous thromboembolism, this will occur in the body. So you can have thrombi in the veins. So thrombi in the veins in your lower legs. It's in lower legs. I'll just write it completely. So we have thrombi in the veins of lower leg. Okay. Yeah, fair. It can be thrombi in pelvic veins. Okay. Just put doo here. Okay. Then it can be um, thrombi in veins of upper limbs. Same. It can go to right side of the heart. Okay. Your venous circulation goes to the right side of the heart. So right side of the heart side will lead to, right atrium, right ventricle, then to your lung to get oxygenated. So udhar ja sakta. या फिर it can lead to thrombosis in cavernous sinus. Cavernous sinus is one of those sinuses. It is technically a venous sinus that is present in your brain. It is one of the venous sinuses. It is a network of veins, literally, in one of the cavities in your brain. वहाँ पर thrombosis हो सकता. But the most significant effect of venous thrombosis will be obstruction of pulmonary circulation. अब venous thrombosis हुआ, meaning it is ultimately going to your right atrium. Sir, mycotic aneurysms. Mycotic aneurysms means aneurysms that are occurring due to infection. So as I told you, यहाँ पर in arterial thromboembolism itself, let's suppose there is a embolism that is occurring in one small blood vessel. अगर बड़ी blood vessel में हुआ तो तब बड़ा problem नहीं होता. Smaller blood vessels में हुआ तो बड़ा problem होता, क्योंकि that small blood vessel is only getting oxygen. अब let's suppose मैं small blood vessel उठा रहा ऐसा. Right. Let's suppose I'm drawing a small blood vessel like this, and there is a thromboembolism that is coming and getting lodged like this. Now, this blood vessel normally used to take blood from here. So, blood which is flowing in your blood vessel used to supply what you call oxygen and important constituents, food and all, through direct circulation. It did not need other circulation. Bade blood vessels mein there will be separate small blood vessels called vasa vasorum. Smaller blood vessels will not have that. Okay. In smaller blood vessels, whenever this type of embolism occurs, it will lead to inflammation of this part of the artery, leading to arteritis, and ultimately what will happen is infection develops here, and this infection spreads. So it will start spreading in the this part of your artery, and what happens is, as a result, mycotic aneurysms develop, aneurysms because of infection. All right. Now coming back to this thing, as I was telling you, the most significant effect of venous thromboembolism is obstruction in your pulmonary arterial circulation. Matlab, अब समझा, अब one of your veins is developing an embolism somewhere, some vein in your body is developing embolism. वहां से embolism आपके right sided atrium, right atrium को आ रहा, right atrium से right ventricle को जा रहा, right ventricle से lungs में जा रहा, through pulmonary arteries. ठीक है. Now as it is going there, pulmonary arteries में जा रहा जब, it will cause embolism in your pulmonary arterial circulation. ठीक है, it is obstructing the flow of blood to your lungs. Even if it is deoxygenated, blood supply to your lung is stopping, leading to pulmonary embolism. So that embolism will start causing problems in your lungs. Okay, there will be occlusion in the pulmonary arterial tree as such. This is more common in case of pulmonary atherosclerosis, or if the patient has pulmonary hypertension, जब ज़्यादा common रहता है. Commonly it does not occur, but mostly occurs when the patient either has pulmonary atherosclerosis or it will be because of pulmonary hypertension. The result will be that there will be pleural effusion, the patient might have edema, a lot of problems in their lungs. Okay, kind of life-threatening condition. So anyway, we'll continue with the other forms of embolism. We have systemic embolism and a few more types of embolism tomorrow, and we'll start off with stroke as well. Right? Hope you understood.